Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another OU Live. Let me cue some music. Welcome back to another OU Live. Now, I actually started my last two courses, and after that I'll be graduating this summer. My graduation, if you guys didn't know, got postponed from February to this summer. So I'll be taking my last two courses, and with that, on Mondays and Wednesdays is where it's the heaviest work. So I'm probably not going to be able to edit as much, which is why I'm actually just going to straight up record this with OBS. I'm using a Flaming Victini team. You put it in the OU sample thread on Smogon. The paste to it will be down below in the description if you guys want to use it alongside me. But like I'm saying, basically I'm just going to be having like back to 2012, back to 2013. No intro, no outro, none of that edits and all that stuff, but only occasionally, like once or twice a week, maybe 3 times at the most. But yeah, we found a team or a battle right away. My opponent is extremely weak to Rotom, as well as Nidoking, obviously. Very weak to Nidoking, actually. If he wants to lead, he has to lead off with something that beats Nidoking. So he'd probably have to lead off with either Latios or Landers, which is why I'm actually going to lead off with my Scizor, because if you lead off with Latios, I get to Pursue Trap it right off the bat. Decides to lead off with the Suicune, which is also another Pokemon that kind of beats Nidoking as well, or definitely beats Nidoking. I'm going to hard switch directly into Rotom. If he wants to Calm Mind up immediately, I do have the chance to burn him. Thankfully his Skull doesn't burn me, and what I can do is just Will-O-Wisp him. If he wants to stay in and try and Calm Mind, I can Volt Switch on out of there after, go out to Heatran, and then proceed to taunt him from there. So we're going to burn him with the Will-O-Wisp. We do have also our own Calm Mind Latios, which kind of beats this 1v1, or definitely beats this 1v1. So he throws out a Scald. It doesn't burn me, as we are able to hit him with the Volt Switch. Oof, that's chip damage. And I can go right out into my Heatran. And I can taunt him, prevent him from resting up. Yes, I am sacking him on that can deal with Scizor, but between Nidoking and Intimidate and Rotom, I think we're fine. So I'm going to hit him with the taunt. That way he cannot go for the rest. And I could go for Stealth Rock. I think I am going to go for Stealth Rock right here, because he's more than likely going to switch out. I was thinking into his own Heatran, but we are able to get up our Stealth Rock while keeping Suicune low. Very nice for us. And if this is defensive, yeah, he might go for Knock right here. I'm making the Scizor play. Because if he goes for his own Stealth Rock, we're fine, as he does. And what I can do is just Mega Evolve and honestly go for U-turn. If he wants to Earthquake, that's fine. He doesn't do too much to me. And if he goes for his own U-turn, as he does, we get a bit of momentum right here as he goes out to Heatran, which I'm thinking might actually be Scarf Tran or Power Herb. But we do have our own Landers right now. Ooh, and I have never seen a freer knockoff right now. No, definitely not. Let's see, we do see leftovers on this thing. I'm actually going to double out into my Nidoking, expecting him to protect if he does have it. Nidoking destroys him, and I might regret this play, but he could also double out to his Landers if he wanted to. Nice. And now we get our kill. Like, straight up. Doesn't have anything for this. I click Ice Beam. Goodbye. We already know he's defensive Heatran as well. I'm going to go hard out into my Latios. my Scizor, because I could Pursuit Trap. And once I Pursuit Trap Latios, I literally click Earth Power like 3 times. But he goes out to Heatran. Good play on my opponent's part. I can make the Rotom play, though. I don't want to go directly into my Heatran just yet. I don't want him to have Earth Power. And if he goes for Toxic, which is actually kind of odd considering I could have went out to my Heatran, I don't mind, because he doesn't have a ground type anymore, so I can just Volt Switch on out of there, which I will do. Yeah, he goes Latios, so this is great. This is absolutely great. And I could be a bit more aggressive now, and I think go Landers and just knock him out with the U-turn. He could be Scarf Latios, but the reason I didn't go into my Scizor is because I don't want Suicune to rest. But by me doing this, I invite in his own Scizor, which is his Mega, and I can go right for the Flamethrower with my Nidoking. I also keep his Scizor low to the point where he might be 2-hit KO'd by my Earthquake as well. So again, I will be able to go right for Flamethrower as he goes for BP just to get off chip damage, but now he is gone, and there is the threat of Scizor sweeping me straight up gone. So Latios is going to come out. I'm thinking about Earth Power here. I think I'm gonna do it. Nah, I'll just make the Scissor play again. He doesn't even double, so that's great. If he wants to HP Fire, that's fine too. He does choose to recover, which I do not mind, and I'm gonna Pursuit right here just in case he does switch out. And if he has HP Fire, then we know that one, my Latios will be faster, and my own Latios already wins. I'm not too worried about Suicune because I do have my own Calm Mind Latios in the back. He chooses to drop a Draco, but he does get that special attack drop, which means he won't be able to 2 KO me. And as you can see, I do 50% or over 50%. So I'm gonna roost up, expecting his next Draco. Like I said, he wouldn't be able to 2 KO me, and now I am out of range of pretty much everything unless he Draco crits me. So I can go for Pursuit, knock out the Latios. Goodbye. Clean. As his Heat Rain is gonna come out. And I could honestly just sack this. I don't need this Pokemon at all. He even goes for Earth Power, trying to predict my my own Heat Rain. Like I said, I didn't need this Pokemon, and I can go right out into my Nidoking and pick up my kill with the Earth Power. And if he sacks Raikou, then this beats him anyway. He has to sack Heat Rain right here. Yep. So basically, if he sacked Raikou, then Nidoking won anyway. He goes Suicune. That doesn't matter. That's gonna die to Sludge Wave. There's no way that lives. There's no way this lives at 37%, so goodbye Suicune, and his last is Raikou, and even if he Calm Minds up, I do have Scarf Landorus in the back. If I wanted to, I could go out to Heat Rain and pivot into Landorus to try and 6-0, but I'm not going to do that. So, he's obviously able to knock me out with the HP Ice, and it looks like he's actually Sub-Calm Mind. Sub-Calm Mind makes sense on this Raikou, the trend, and I could just go right for the Earthquake and knock him out. So that is going to be game, yo. Nidoking put in the finest of work. The finest of work that game. So let us look for another one. This also might be a shorter live. Who knows? I got Reverb, an old friend of mine. Good to see him, honestly. It's been a little while. Haven't played Reverb in a while. This is going to put in so much work. No? This is not Hita Fita. You too. I want to make the Landorus my lead. I'm definitely going to be able to trap his Starmie with my Heat Rain at any given point. But I want to lead off with Landorus because it means I can pivot out into my Scizor and beat his on his Lopunny, basically on the Fake Out. If he does go for Fake Out or Ice Punch, those are all plays. Looks like he might be Scarf Landorus. He leads off with his Tornadus. Is this that much of a threat that I want to OHKO it right off the bat? Does Explosion OHKO? If Explosion OHKOs, I'm getting rid of it. Hold up. Because this is only, like, Torn is annoying. Let's try Scarf. I'm Jolly, obviously. Tornadus. Assault Vest. Why does this do so much, too? He's gonna knock, if anything, right? I'm thinking about exploding, like, so much. Torn. It doesn't beat Nidoking, it just annoys it. I'm gonna go for U-turn, it's a better play. Because if he goes Landorus and has the, if he goes Landorus and shows the Rocky Helmet right here, yeah, I know he's Scarf. So, that means I, or defensive, excuse me, that means I can go right out into my Nidoking. And honestly, Sludge Wave right here. There's no way he's staying in. He actually goes out to Tornadus, so this is going to do nothing. Holy crap. That did nothing. But I can go right out to Rotom. Assault Vest. Holy crap. Assault Vest is no joke. But I can go right out into my my Rotom and go for the Volt Switch as his Heat Rain is going to come out. Surprised he went directly into Heat Rain, especially when I had the Nidoking. But that's fine. I was hoping he'd go out into, well, the trap like Starmie, but I'm not going to mess around with this. I don't mind if he goes out into his Tornadus. I'm just going to Earth Power. I want to play safe around that one, especially if I want to Calm Mind Sweep him. Goes Torn one more time. I'm assuming he's just trying to get up his rocks. But Rotom is always the best play, and we can obviously recover off versus Heatran, even if he wants to go for U-turn. So I will Hydro Pump the Heatran this turn. I'm assuming he's just trying to Toxic me, but I don't mind that too much. In fact, I'm probably going to beat the Tornadus with Rocks plus Explosion. He decides to go Landorus, surprisingly. Why? I can Pain Split on up. Now I just get all my health back. Why do you want to go Landorus? To get in Ferrothorn? Or Tornadus? What are you doing? I'm a little bit confused. I just got back up to 81%. I'm a little bit confused, but okay. That works out for me. I can just Volt Switch on the Ferrothorn as well. And go right out into my Heatran. I think just go for Rocks. Like, there's no way he goes out into his own Heatran, and he brings out Starmie, so I can knock this thing out with the Solar Beam on his Rapid Spin, and I literally get off. He literally got off 1% on me, and I was able to get rid of his spinner. So goodbye, Starmie. One Mon that could threaten Nidoking. He decides to go out into his Landorus. I want damage on this thing, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going for Magma Storm. Oh my god, that would have been a 50%! As he's able to get up his Rocks. And I'm just going to get up my Rocks. If he wants to go for U-turn, that's fine. If he Earthquakes, that's fine. So, basically, I would have been able to 2-KO the Landorus while keeping up Rocks, but 'tis the game we play. Lopunny is going to come out, and this is a threat. High Jump Kick is easily his best play. This puts in work, though. This still traps everything. He can't switch into this thing that well. I'm hard switching directly into Landorus. I don't care. He might Ice Punch, though, based on the way he's been playing. But he does go right for High Jump Kick. And what I can do is actually double out to Nidoking, expecting him to want to go out to Landorus. I think that would be his better play. Nice. And we keep Landorus out. And we can go for the Ice Beam now because his only switching is his Tornadus. And this is obviously super effective damage. So, I can follow this up with a Sludge Wave, which will be able to knock out Tornadus, even after the knockoff. So goodbye to Torn. And I still threaten Ferrothorn, Landorus, and his Heatran with this. Basically, I get a kill whenever I get in Nidoking. So, that's great to know. What is expendable at this point? How do I not lose to the Lopunny? I know Scissor can take 2, but I'm not going to risk switching it in on the High Jump Kick. Rotom still Will-O-Wisp, Ferrothorn, and pretty much beats everything on his team. I like Heatran because it beats out. As long as I keep my my Landorus alive and good, so I'm just going to sack my Latios right here to the return. And I will just drop a Draco. He doesn't want to risk me being Scarf as well, so good play on my opponent's part. Definitely. But that Draco meter does put it in range of the Flamethrower. And even if he goes back out on Lopunny, I don't mind that at all. So I'll drop another Draco. Ferrothorn is 100% in range of Flamethrower. He might actually even sack it, to be honest, when I go out into my Nidoking next. Good play on his part, though, getting up the Spike. I'm going hard into Nidoking, though, and we get to click Flamethrower. And if he actually goes out into Landorus, like let's say trying to pivot, trying to bluff the scout for the Flamethrower and whatnot, Landorus is then weakened for me to Earthquake sweep him. Like, he's in range to be swept by Earthquake. Like, he has to sack Ferrothorn right here. He does make the Landorus play. Alright, so he is definitely in range to be swept by Earthquake. And I can just Ice Beam right here. Goodbye, Landorus. Yeah. So he's looking to be swept by the Earthquake. Lopunny comes out. At this point, I could just sack my... I could sack my Heatran to the return. And I can just Magma Storm. But as he goes for the Power-Up Punch, ooh. But I can go right on to Landorus and just Earthquake him. Yeah, there's no point in not earthquaking, as I'm able to knock him out. So yeah, it's game. GG. Basically, Nidoking just put the entire team on his back right there. Let's restart the music. I like this team. It's very, very fun. And Nidoking is putting in the finest of work. So that's always fun. Yeah, basically he put himself in range to be swept by Earthquake. That's why I was debating going for Explosion turn 1, because then Nidoking could sweep him. But then I would be a little bit more scared versus Lopunny. I understand why he switched out as well from Lopunny into Ferrothorn. But at that point, even when he went back out into... Well, it would have been really nice if I actually hit that Magma Storm, because that would have been well over half, especially with the damage after that. Not saying I would have stayed in after that, because I would have had to risk the 70% chance to knock him out, but you know, it could have been good. I played a bit more risky versus Reverb because he is a better player. So certain players, you just know that they're gonna make certain moves because they're, you know, better players. Let's see who's on the ladder. Is Jam on top? I know Jam was like really high up in OU. Let's see. MTV Jam 190. Oof. Pokeaim 197. Hold up. 1 point. What about Quiescent? Bro, don't be battling me. I'm trying to scout. Cool team by my opponent. Offense. Straight up offense. It's probably offensive. What up? I'm trying to scout for Quiescent. Yeah. Number 204. Stay behind us, Blunder. Anyway, threatening team on my opponent's part. I want to get a Bronx quickly, so I'm going to lead off with my Heatran. It's also a lead that can beat Breloom. Though I could expect him to lead off with his Garchomp. I'm going to lead off with Heatran though, because I do want these rocks up. As he does lead Breloom. Now I could go for the attack, but I really want rocks, especially because he's just going to Spore anyway. And basically, my Scizor beats a lot of his team. Well, by that, just Jirachi in this. So I'll be able to go into my Landers. Basically, rocks ensure that Focus Sash is gone if he does have the Sash. And I'll be able to take his Mach Punch as well. It looks like he's actually Life Orb. Okay, so that's good to know. I can just U-turn it out of there and go right out into my Scizor. After the -1 attack, I'll be able to take any hit he wants to go for. Goes for the Swords Dance, and I'll just be able to Mega Evolve and go right for U-turn. It knocks him out, it keeps up momentum. We also get to see if he is defensive Garchomp based on this damage. And again, I only need Scizor to... That doesn't... so much damage, good lord. I only need Scizor to Pursuit Trap the Jirachi, which is what I'm going to do. So, that looks super defensive. Yeah. See, Nidoking is the play I want to make, but Latios is the better play. Because I get to drop a Draco, and his only switching is more than likely Scarf Jirachi. So I am going to drop a Draco right here. And pretty much pick up either a kill or 50% on the Jirachi. As the Jirachi is going to take close to 50%. And look at that, it's no longer switching. Now, U-turn is going to happen. And I'm going to allow it to happen. I'll let him get a Brox. I'll go Rotom. He's going to U-turn on the Garchomp, and I'll allow the rocks. Basically, I get to Pursue Trap Jirachi and sweep with Landers at 1 point. He goes out into Breloom, though. Surprisingly. Why, though? Well, Scizor's always the play of choice. Yeah, Blitzy does absolutely nothing. Like, look at that. He took more damage from... he took about the same damage from Life Orb. And I can just go right for the U-turn. Again, keeping up momentum, keeping Garchomp low, and putting him in range to be swept by the Earthquake. And I can just drop another Draco. I could always go Nidoking here again, but I'm just going to drop a Draco. It's just so... Come on! Amazing. Remember when there were no rocks on the field and we killed him on every single time? So he decides to go Jirachi for whatever reason. So sacking his Scarf Jirachi. Yeah, why'd you make this play? I literally, like, even if he Healing Wishes right now, that's completely fine. I have no idea why he made the Jirachi play, because Jirachi does die to Stealth Rock. So if he Healing Wishes back up Garchomp, I'm going Scizor anyway because basically I get to Bullet Punch it just for a bit of chip damage. I guess he could Healing Wish back up the Breloom. It would have been so nice to knock out the Garchomp, but some people... I guess I could have went for Dragon Pulse if I didn't want to miss, but you know, I want power. We dropped Draco's out here. God. Anyway, he could go for the U-turn. If he goes for Iron Head, Scizor lives and I knock it out with the Bullet Punch. I live after Stealth Rock and I knock it out with BP. He does go for the Healing Wish. Maybe Breloom's coming back? I'm not sure. Chooses to allow the Garchomp to come back. And I can just go for the Bullet Punch and get off as much damage as possible. Honestly, is there even a point? I'm just going to go for U-turn. Because if he switches out, I get huge momentum off. Assuming Manectric and Manaphy come out. And if he goes for Earthquake, then I get my kill. With Nidoking. Because we know he's defensive Chomp. So yeah. Everything dies outside of Manaphy. I'm expecting him to want to go out to Manaphy. Right here, or sack the Breloom. Though obviously me missing the Draco earlier is a little bit unfortunate, and by a little bit I mean a lot of bit unfortunate, because I would have been able to knock him out easily, prevent rocks. Granted, I was able to get rid of Jirachi, but still. And now my Heat Rain's asleep for no reason. I could have went for Magma Storm turn 1, but then let's say I missed and I didn't have rocks up, and that means I didn't limit the switch-ins from Thundurus or Manectric or even Manaphy. I'm assuming he's going to go out into Manaphy here or sack Breloom. The Breloom sack makes sense. Nice. I don't got to deal with no Mach Punch. As more than likely Manaphy's going to come out right now. Nothing else would make sense. Everything else goes down. Thundurus doesn't kill me with HP Ice. Manectric doesn't kill me with HP Ice. And I can knock them both out. Actually, I would love if you went Thundurus here, because then I can knock him out with the Ice Beam and proceed to click Earthquake versus my opponent's team. Might be in a tricky situation versus his Manaphy though, who knows. Especially with those rocks up, he might be in a position to like outplay me a couple times. Who knows though, I like Nidoking, that's the king. Oof. Bow down to the king, they call him the king. Anyway, also guys, if you're excited for UCL Season 2, the live draft is this Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be so long. And also Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern as well, and that's also going to be so long. But it'll be fun to see what the Bronx Beartics draft this season. As you guys know, I did win Season 1 of the UCL, so I get to... I retain... I retain my... what's it called? I retain the captain... I retain one member, right? One member from Season 1 of the UCL. Now, I actually decided to keep Manaphy, the captain of the Bronx Beartics, just because it's so ridiculous when you can see what your opponent wants to bring. So that's what I ended up keeping, and hopefully she leads us to victory one more time, or she gets frozen and burnt, parried, confused, crit, all on the way there. Because last year it was really, the captain got so much hacks. Anyway, Manaphy's like his only play unless he wants to try and weaken me with Manectric to limit my switch-ins, or weaken me with Thundurus. But if he does choose to go Thundurus, and unless he crits me with HP Ice, I live any hit he wants to go for. And then once I knock him out, his entire team is grounded. So basically, every single time I bring in Landers versus something like Manectric or anything, and I am Choice Scarf, I will be able to knock him out with the Earthquake, or at least get off about 40% on his Garchomp upon switching. He's thinking tough. He's thinking hard about this play. I wouldn't mind him timing out, though. I wouldn't mind taking his points. Yeah. I dropped the Draco on him in real life, the one that missed anybody. Yeah, Jim, I get past on the ladder. Alright, so let's look for another game. We're at 24 minutes. Again, somehow playing with Manaphy, depending on his Manaphy set, could have been an issue if I missed another Draco on it. Does this say Shofu? I swear I just saw Shofu. Shofu fanboy. Ooh. PDC. Oof. Next goal. Gotta pass him. Looks like we get another one. And this is the type of stuff that Nidoking really, really likes. I'm actually going to lead off with my Landers, because if he leads off with his Rotom, I get to weaken it No, actually, no. No, Rotom is my best lead. Because my Rotom matches up well versus his Rotom. I get to burn it. Or I also beat Landorus, Metagross. Maybe Scarf Landorus might be putting in some work here. So these off of Keldeo. I get a Volt Switch right now. Unless he goes Landorus for some reason. He might go Landorus and pivot. But, yeah, he goes Clef. Good, good, good. And I can just take this opportunity to go out to my Heatran and set up my Stealth Rocks. He might be Thunder Wave Clef. Actually, based on it, he might be Flamethrower. But I am going to go for my Stealth Rock right here. Get these up, as assuming he goes for the Stealth Rock of his own. Okay. That's completely fine. I'm going to taunt him, that way he can't potentially Thunder Wave me, though. Actually, Magma Storm is my better play, because if I hit Rotom, I keep it in and I can kill it with the Solar Beam. So, we are able to hit nice. That means he 100% goes down to Solar Beam, and we are able to get rid of one, switch into basically Ice Beams from my Nidoking. So, he's stuck in here. That's defensive Rotom. They're all defensive, unless you're running like a Scarf 1 on rain teams, and we are able to get rid of his Rotom right away. So, goodbye. That means he can no longer switch in well to Heatran either, because it's gonna get hurt. It's gonna get hurt hard. So I would go for Scald if I was my opponent, especially based on my team. I'm gonna go out to my Rotom Wash because I can basically Volt Switch around that. He actually goes for the Spec Secret Sword. Good play on my opponent's part, but I mean, I did have Latios, which is why I didn't expect that play. Basically, Scald was a no drawback play, but he might double, actually, predicting my Latios. And then I'll make Keldeo more of an issue. He does double out to Landorus. Ooh. Maybe expecting my Volt Switch? I'm not sure if he's Scarf or not, but I'm going to go into my Heatran here. I don't want to risk that. Heatran is also faster than Metagross upon switching, and if he goes for knockoff, which he does, I get to go for another Magma Storm. I'm assuming he's Scarf as well. Just based on the knockoff damage. Especially because his Stealth Rocker was the Clef, so let's hopefully hit this Keldeo. I would love to hit this thing with the Magma Storm as we are able to. Ooh, that is chip damage, boy. Actually, based on the way this is going, I might sweep him with Scizor now, because Scarf Landorus doesn't beat defensive Scizor, neither does Metagross, and I have Pursuit, and Clef is beaten as well, so. What the hell did you get in here? Oh. I thought I mod joined. Yeah, I'm tired. You can tell I'm tired. I forgot to mod join. Latios is still my play of choice. Yeah, even if he goes for Icy Wind. He goes for Scald. Good play on my opponent's part. Doesn't get the burn nice, thankfully, and I can just roost off the damage he wants to go for. I don't expect him to stay in and go for a second Scald. That's definitely Specs too, based on the damage. And again, he is looking to be swept by... honestly, I could double if I wanted to into Heatran. Expecting his Metagross to come out and prevent it from Mega Evolving, but he actually ends up going out into his Tornadus. So, assuming a knockoff is coming, Heatran's a pretty solid switch, and if he doesn't have a fighting type move to hit me with, and knockoff isn't going to do too much. Let's see if he's Life Orb. That was not Life Orb. Let's see if he has Superpower or the... Basically, if he doesn't have Superpower or Focus Blast, he doesn't beat me 1v1. And Magma Storm, if he goes back on to Keldeo, puts him in range to lose to my Scizor. Probably has Heat Wave, U-Turn, Hurricane. Yeah, he doesn't have fighting move. Let's see if I hit. Ooh, we're even getting lucky with the hits too. I don't even mind this, because if he U-turns on out of there, I get another Magma Storm on something else. Yeah, bring out Keldeo. Bring out Keldeo right now and go ahead and get hit. So Keldeo comes out. Let's see if we hit. Yeah, of course not. I would have been so nice to hit. His Hurricane wouldn't have done anything. Basically, he would have had to try and confuse me, which is why he went for that play. It was his best play. It was his only play. But hitting Keldeo would have been huge. I'm actually going to go out to my Rotom just in case he goes for the Icy Wind this time. Just based on the way he'd been playing. But he actually ends up going for the Secret Sword, which means that... I should be able to go into my Landorus. I don't want to go for U-turn. I just want to go for Earthquake. This is the only threat to me. I don't care about his own Landorus. I'm going for Earthquake. I don't care. If I went for U-turn, I would have obviously gotten momentum there, but So that's completely fine. I forced out Keldeo, and that's the important part. Had I hit that Magma Storm, he already lost the Bullet Punch. But that is the game we play, and I can just go out to Heatran on the knock or U-turn. As he misses Hurricane, which is great. A little bit of immediate justice for the miss on Magma Storm because his next knockoff doesn't knock me out. And if we do hit this, as we do, that is dead Tornadus, and that was the only Mon that threatened Scizor that can live and then hurt me with the Heat Wave. So Tornadus is gone. He cannot go out to Metagross. Let me restart the music again. He cannot go out to Metagross. Goes on to Keldeo. It's the only play he had. And I can still save my Heatran as fodder. So I'm going out into my Latios right now. On the Scald. Burns me, unfortunately, but I do get to Roost right now. Basically, Nidoking is also going to be putting in work. Honestly, I was about to double into my Nidoking, but apparently my cancel didn't work. But Nidoking can come out, or Metagross, excuse me. I can sack my Heatran. If he does have Pursuit, I wouldn't expect it because he has an Assault Vest Tornadus and a Clefable. Basically 2 pivots for Dragons. But I can sack my Heatran. Go out to Scizor after. On his Meteor Mash. And proceed to Pursuit him. I live any attack he wants to go for, and I get to Pursuit right here. I basically live 2 Hammer Arms, like 100%, and if he switches out, like as I said, I live these 2 Hammer Arms, and Pursuit is just doing the chip damage that I need. Look at that chip. Earthquake Swept. And if he wants to Hammer Arm again, I can just Roost. And also Keldeo, even if he comes in, like let's say he brings in Keldeo now, as he brings in Landorus, which I do not mind, that just gives me a U-turn. Yeah, I'm 100% going for U-turn versus his Landorus too. Because if he just goes for his own U-turn, I'm in a good position. And if Clef comes out, I get to click Sludge Wave. Or, well, Earth Power actually, if the Clef comes out. And if Keldeo comes out, oof, he's already setting up for his own being swept by BP. So, yeah, he goes down to BP. Nice. He 100% goes down to BP now. And I can just go right for the Side Shock with my Latios and pick up my kill. Or at least 2 a KO something. So he decides to save that. His Clef might be 2 a KO'd by this Side Shock depending on rolls. Doesn't look like it though. But we are going to be able to go out into our Nidoking right now. I'm saving Latios, I'm keeping it alive because it stops him from spamming Earthquake. It also gives me a reliable switching after something goes down to Keldeo. Not that Keldeo doesn't go down to BP anyway. But if he Moonblast right here or Healing Wishes, he doubles out into Landorus. Great play on my opponent's part. Solid play. Huh. Doesn't BP just win? Yeah, BP kills this Clefable. There's 2 plays he's going for. He's going for the knockoff or... You know what? I don't need this Nidoking at all. I'm just going for the Ice Beam. I don't need Nidoking. Basically, if he goes Metagross, that doesn't matter. If he goes Keldeo dies to Ice Beam, I don't need Nidoking at all. As long as I keep Latios alive, I reliably check the Keldeo. Had he went for knockoff, I got the kill. He goes on to his Clefable, which will be 2 a KO'd by the Ice Beam, especially after the crit. And I can just follow it up with an Earth Power just in case he thinks I am Scarf. But we're able to knock out Clefable. Great. I actually get 2 crits in a row versus Clefable. Holy crap. Why? As Keldeo is going to come out, and he just dug his own grave. Because I can go for Ice Beam right here. And if Keldeo switches out, it goes down to BP even at -1 with Intimidate. Yeah. And Latios gets to come out right now. I just knock him out with the Side Shock. I actually should have roosted right there too. Because I would have taken any hit and stalled him out a bit as well. But what we can do is go out into our Landorus to win the game. Because if he goes up to his own Landorus, we get off the Intimidate. I have the late game Explosion as well. And I even have the slower U-turn. Yeah, I could just go for U-turn if he goes for knock. I don't think I mind about any speed ties either. Actually, I'm going out to Scizor. This is a better play, because if he goes for U-turn, I still live any 2 hits with his Metagross. And if he goes for knock, I get to Roost. Actually, I'm just gonna pursue. Why not? I get off chip damage. I literally can't lose this game. Like, look at this chip damage. Oof. He's probably gonna switch on now. I would do that if I was my opponent. Try and force me to go for the try and force me and go for the BP. But I can just Pursuit again. And Pursuit puts him in range of Stealth Rock if he chooses to stay in, and I knock him out right there. And I still have my Scarflanders in the back to knock out his Metagross. So that should be game. And Nidoking still put in the finest of work. In fact, I should have actually U-turned out right there, because 2 attack raises could be annoying, but no, Pursuit's fine, I think. He would have had to go for Meteor Mash and get the attack raise and then Agility up after. So that's why I should have went for U-turn, but I think Pursuit is fine anyway, because Metagross still... You don't usually run Agility on Hammer Arm, or Rock Polish Hammer Arm. I mean, some people do, but I definitely don't. But we will be able to live any hit he goes for and knock him out with the second Pursuit, and that will be good game. So, with that, I think we're going to end the live. We are in the 1800s. We made it to 1813. I hope you guys all enjoy. Feel free, of course, to leave a like, subscribe to your thing. There is a link to the team down below in the description if you guys want to use it. And yeah, thank you everybody for being patient with me. Sub Hub hopefully later this week. I know it's been postponed, but I have a few things planned for this week as well. And I just got to adjust to the new school schedule, at least for this next month, since it is a speed session. So it's only 6 weeks as opposed to 12 weeks. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Later. Goodbye.